Good Monday morning, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here, giving a deeper dive into our winter weather forecast over the next 24 to 48 hours. If you spent any amount of time outside this morning, you know that it is cold, it is breezy, and we are feeling that Arctic air this morning. We had temperatures this morning in the low to mid 20s with the wind chill in the teens, and we're really not warming up too much today, but at least we have quite a bit of sunshine. And then, of course, tomorrow we still anticipate a good bit of snow across South Mississippi. It may be looking like a winter wonderland tomorrow, which obviously does not happen very often this far south along the Gulf Coast. Let's take a look at those temperatures right now as of about 10 o'clock. They're starting to climb up above freezing in a few areas along the coast, still seeing the upper 20s farther inland with the wind chill still dipping down into the teens at times. We've had some gusty winds out of the north and northeast today, making it feel even colder, but it looks like we are now climbing above freezing in Gulfport, and we are on track for reaching the low 40s today along the coast. Some inland areas may only reach the upper 30s, but all in all, temperatures later today will be getting above freezing. All eyes are on tomorrow with the potential for accumulating snow, and that's looking very likely at this point across South Mississippi. I'll show you our projected snowfall amounts here in just a few minutes. Generally speaking, we're looking at about 2 to 6 inches of snow once it's all said and done. Not only is it going to be snowing throughout the day, it's going to be breezy. Winds will be picking up out of the north and northeast. We may see some gusts near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Major travel impacts expected Tuesday and also into Wednesday morning. If we get that snow on the ground on Tuesday, that will cause temperatures to really drop Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. So any leftover snow on the roads is going to be refreezing pretty easily by Wednesday morning, causing more of those slick spots, especially on bridges and overpasses as well. In addition to the slick spots on the roads, with it snowing throughout the day and with it being breezy, that's going to cause some issues with visibility. Again, we're not really used to seeing snow here in South Mississippi, and if you have to be out and about tomorrow, please take it slow. If you don't have to be out and about, stay home, stay off of the roads. This is going to be a very significant event here along the Gulf Coast. And it isn't just us in South Mississippi. The winter storm warnings are issued for southeast Louisiana. Now they have extended into coastal Alabama and even parts of the Florida Panhandle, and they've extended those a little bit farther north as well. So travel in our immediate region is not recommended tomorrow and into Wednesday morning. Now, there are some indications that very late Monday night, throughout the overnight hours or tonight, a few of those snow showers may be sneaking into parts of Louisiana. For us in South Mississippi specifically, Tuesday is going to be our day of seeing the most impacts in terms of snow, and then also lasting into Wednesday morning as some of that snow refreezes along the roads. At this time, still expecting to see 2 to 6 inches of snowfall in South Mississippi. Compared to yesterday, forecast models have shifted the access of heavier snow a little bit farther to the south. I'll be honest, George County, you may be seeing a little less snowfall just based off of those forecast models that we've been watching coming through this morning. But we will continue to monitor trends. All in all, though, even 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches in George County, that's very significant. It really just does not happen very often that we get this amount of snow along the Gulf Coast. More so into Hancock County, southern Pearl River County, you have a slightly better chance of seeing snowfall amounts closer to 3 to 6 inches. And as I show you this, a wider view of our region where the heavier snowfall is going to be, that's mainly going to be in Louisiana, including New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Slidell on the edge of that, where those areas have a better chance of seeing 4 to 8 inches of snowfall. And within some of these heavier snow bands, some locally higher amounts not out of the question. That could be the same for us as well. Locally higher amounts closer to 6, not out of the question here in South Mississippi, but the overall picture, that we're seeing is that some of the heavier snow bands may be setting up in Louisiana Tuesday morning and into the afternoon. If you have plans to travel into Louisiana on Tuesday, you may want to rethink that because those areas are going to be seeing the heaviest snowfall. And even over into Mobile, still expected to see roughly 2 to 4 inches of snow by the end of Tuesday. So all in all, this is going to be a very significant event here along the Gulf Coast. And this potentially could become one of the top 5 snowiest days on record, at least in Gulfport. Now that record sets at 7 inches. That was set back on New Year's Eve in 1963. That may be a little bit of a stretch for this event tomorrow. However, if we pick up over 2 to 3 inches of snow, hey, we could make it into the top 5. That wouldn't be totally surprising to me at this point. And it looks like the last time that we had 2 inches of snow was back during the superstorm of '93. So it's been a while since we've had this amount of snow here along the Gulf Coast, specifically for the Gulfport and Biloxi region. So I'm not exaggerating when I say that this could end up becoming a historic event here in South Mississippi and along the Gulf Coast. To be honest, I didn't really think in my time here at WLOX I'd be forecasting something like this, but here we are. So the snow very likely going to cause some travel issues Tuesday and into Wednesday morning. We think those impacts are going to be very high across the area. And just a heads up that bridges and overpasses typically freeze before other roadways. Again, if you have to be out and about, take it very slow. Give yourself extra space between you and the car ahead of you. Just don't get in a hurry to get wherever you need to go tomorrow if you have to be out and about. And the same can be said on Wednesday. I know at this time, several school districts have already called off school on Tuesday and Wednesday. And you can go to our website, WLOX.com, to check on the latest on those closings for school districts and also some businesses. Not only are we expecting snow tomorrow, it is going to be cold over the next several days. And obviously today is cold. We had temperatures in the low to mid 20s this morning with wind chills in the teens. This afternoon, we're barely getting above 40. And tonight, by about 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we'll start to see temperatures getting closer to freezing. And I've got a graphic here. There's the potential that once we hit freezing tonight, we may not get above freezing again until some point on Wednesday morning. That's not set in stone, but there's the potential for that, of us spending about 36 to 40 hours below freezing here in South Mississippi. So obviously, people need to be protected from the cold, as well as pets, pipes, and plants tonight. Especially tomorrow night, if we have that snowpack on the ground, temperatures maybe dropping into the teens at that point, and even just a little bit of a wind, maybe causing the wind chill to dip down into the single digits. Even Wednesday night, looks like temperatures are going to be below freezing once again in the 20s. So even though a lot of us are getting excited about the snow, we can't forget the cold. We are looking at dangerous cold at times over the next few days, especially during the overnight hours. So the overall setup with this winter storm, we've got an area of low pressure later today that's going to be getting a little more organized off of the coast of South Texas. It's going to be getting a little bit stronger. And then overnight tonight, some areas in East Texas, southwestern Louisiana, likely going to start to see some of that snow. It's going to be moving eastward as we head into Tuesday morning over South Mississippi, and then lasting most of the afternoon, it looks like, until the snow begins to taper off a little bit more by Tuesday evening. Looks like we are just going to be in the sweet spot of the system where we have enough of that moisture and that cold air at the surface and aloft to get a snow event. In terms of sleet or freezing rain, looks like it's going to be really too cold aloft to see that. So in order to get freezing rain and sleet, you need a little bit of some warm air aloft to get that to occur. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case at this point. Things could change, but we're getting more and more confident this is going to be purely a snow event on Tuesday and into Tuesday evening. Today, if you have to run any errands, make any last-minute preparations, you're good to go. The roads are in fine shape today. We're not going to be seeing any rain. nor are we going to be seeing any wintry precipitation today. In fact, we expect sunshine throughout the day. Now, overnight tonight, we'll start to see those clouds begin to move into South Mississippi. There's a potential that once we hit freezing tonight, we're not going to be getting above freezing for quite some time. This run of Futurecast keeps us right around freezing, a few degrees below that, heading into Tuesday morning, and then it actually cools us down a little bit throughout the day as we start to see the snow pick up. This is stopped at about 9 o'clock in the morning. This run of Futurecasts showing the snow becoming more widespread at that point. And I will say our in-house model has been fairly consistent with the blanket of snow it wants to put over southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi. We do expect to see more snow by lunchtime. There's a chance we may drop a few degrees into the upper 20s. We'll see on that. And then as we head towards about 6, 7, 8 o'clock, it does seem like most of the snow will quickly move out of the way. But with the snow on the ground, that's going to give us the potential for seeing temperatures to drop into the teens Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. All in all, snow chances tomorrow are mainly looking the highest later in the morning and into the early afternoon. Like I said, once we get to about 6, 7, 8 o'clock, some of that snow begins to move out of the way. And in addition to that, it is going to be breezy. So that's going to cause some visibility issues if you have to be out and about tomorrow afternoon. So the overall gist is we're generally looking at about 2 to 6 inches of snow in South Mississippi. The closer to the Louisiana border you are, especially in Hancock County, the better chance you have at getting some of those heavier snowfall totals. I expect the heaviest snow to move through between 9 o'clock in the morning through 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, before 9 o'clock, we could see a few light snow showers moving in from the west, but the bulk of the snow moving in throughout the middle of the day. Travel, not recommended on Tuesday, especially by the afternoon and overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning. With temperatures dropping well below freezing, that's going to cause some icy slick spots on the roads, no doubt about that, in addition to bridges and overpasses. And Wednesday morning has the potential to be brutally cold with that snowpack on the ground. We may see temperatures in the teens along the coast. We've been a little conservative with our temperature forecast, but we may have to drop those low temperatures Tuesday night and into Wednesday. I mentioned this earlier. This is not set in stone, but there is a chance that once we hit freezing tonight, between about 8 or 10 o'clock, we may not get above freezing until Wednesday morning. Some spots in South Mississippi may be spending 36 to 40 hours below freezing starting tonight. Especially for inland areas, you have a better chance of staying below freezing for several hours, literally over a day. That will be interesting to see how that plays out. So with all of this cold in the forecast, can't emphasize enough that people need to be protected from the cold. Make sure that any exposed skin is also protected. Wear gloves, hats, thick coats. You're definitely going to need it. So forecast low temperatures Tuesday into Wednesday. Looks like that's going to be the coldest night of the week. Our forecast now calls for temperatures in the upper teens and low 20s. Don't be surprised if we knock those temperatures down a little bit, if we get that snowpack on the ground. So right now we've got low 20s on the coast. I wouldn't be shocked if even on the coast we drop into the teens by Wednesday morning, and even just a little bit of a wind is going to cause us to be colder than that. So tonight and especially tomorrow night, pipes need to be protected. If you hadn't already done so from yesterday, today is a good day to cover any exposed pipes, because by tomorrow afternoon, for one, we could be below freezing, and two, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of snow across the area. So bring your pets in as well, especially tonight and tomorrow, and also, of course, tomorrow night with it getting brutally cold. If for some reason you're not able to bring them inside, make sure they do have a way to stay warm with extra blankets. Give them some extra food. That way they're able to keep their body temperature up a little bit more. Give them some heating pads. But if you can, please bring them inside. We are just not acclimated to this type of cold. Of course, plants need to be protected. We've had several freezes at this point. So those of you that have plants that you would like to keep. I think we know the drill on that. And of course, people need to be protected as well. If you have elderly neighbors you would like to check in on, please do so. Make sure they have a way to stay warm over the next few days, because it is getting downright cold here in South Mississippi. And I can't emphasize enough that Tuesday night until Wednesday could be brutally cold, with temperatures even in the teens on the coast. So those red alert days mainly go for Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Those are for those travel impacts. Travel is going to be pretty difficult throughout the day on Tuesday and late that night. Again, we're not really used to it around here. So if you have to be out and about, please take it slow. Give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination, and make sure that you give yourself plenty of space between you and the car ahead of you. Don't get in any hurry to get wherever you need to go. Best recommendation I have on Tuesday: if you don't have to go anywhere, stay at home. Enjoy the snow out your window, or maybe if you have kids, take them out in the snow, play with it. This could be a big memory maker, as I like to call it here in South Mississippi, because it just does not happen very often at all. But Wednesday morning, we have that alert day in effect, because a lot of that snow may refreeze on the roads. That's going to cause more issues. Of course, bridges, overpasses, those are going to be frozen, it seems like, Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now by Thursday, things start to warm up a little bit more by the afternoons, but even in the morning, we're still looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Another hard freeze is going to be possible, but things are trending warmer by the end of the week, and by the end of this upcoming weekend, we are forecasting temperatures back into the 50s and 60s, which is where we typically are for this time in the year. It's not very often we forecast high temperatures in the low 30s, right around freezing. So all in all, it's going to be cold. We have a very good chance of seeing some snow here in South Mississippi tomorrow. Amounts of 3 to 6 inches not out of the question, especially closer to the Louisiana border. Now, we will get more model data throughout the day. Eric Johnson, our chief meteorologist, he will be in this afternoon giving the latest updates on that. If we need to tweak that forecast anymore, winter weather forecasting, it's tricky. Especially here in the south, we have to have all those ingredients in place to get the snow set up. But it does seem like with this area of low pressure, we are going to be right in the sweet spot of seeing some snow on Tuesday. Not seeing too much potential for freezing rain or sleet anymore. Seems like it's just going to be cold enough to see a purely snow event. But I can't emphasize enough that it's going to be cold, and the snow is going to be a sight to see around here tomorrow. Enjoy it if you love the snow, because as we know, it just doesn't happen too often. So this could literally be a historic event along the Gulf Coast. So I am going to be signing off here. Like I said, Eric will be having more updates throughout the day today. We do not have a midday newscast due to the inauguration. So hopefully I leave you with an in-depth look at the forecast here from our newsroom. So I hope everyone stays warm today, enjoy the snow tomorrow, and hopefully you can make some good memories.